his money. He works hard for his money, but he might get ready to fight. That how the song goes?
Maybe. I just know the tune, but that's about it. So
he works hard for his money. How you been doing, James?
I'm tired.
No, I didn't ask you. I didn't ask if your name was tired. I asked your name is James.
Oh, there you go. Starting off with the dad jokes.
Hit hard, baby.
Oh, I'm really worn out, and it's just I don't know. It's coming up on Christmas. My parents came up for Thanksgiving, so that was really really great.
Nice.
And they were able to see this house that they bought, and they were able to they like it. It's got good bones, but they just want to bring out a structural engineer to verify on a couple of things. But
oh, really?
yeah, not nothing too big. It looks structurally sound. They want to. So it almost looks like the house originally was built in 1890 on an original stone foundation. And then they did almost like a extension. So the back half of the house looks like it was built on. And then they almost like wrapped it in a brick. Like it's actual brick, but they wrapped it in brick. So you can't really tell where it is. But when you go down into the basement and you look at the foundation, there's almost this like back crawl space that's been dug out a little bit, but they almost like cut into the stone foundation a little bit to provide a semi doorway into this other area. And they just want to verify with this guy on whether or not it's okay if we dig down deeper in that new area.
They want to do addition? They want to do an addition or what?
They want to deepen that portion of the basement so we can like have a proper root cellar.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So,
sounds like a good time.
So, yeah, and then I'm drinking some Straub. That's a beer.
Straub? Oh, I've never heard of that.
Yeah. It's basically a microbrew. It's from where Catherine's from, St. Mary's.
Okay. Gotcha.
And it's there's two kinds of people out here who drink beer. There's people who don't know about Straub, and then there's people who know about Straub. And I actually
is it like Kinky Up, or is it like is it like a craft brew?
Yeah, it's kind of like a craft brew, but they've been around since 1872.
Okay.
So, like, what was it? Yingling, I believe, is the oldest beer made in the United States.
Yeah, so this yes.
Yeah,
like not distillery.
Oldest
brewery.
distributor, brewery, or something like that. Still going on. And Straub is not far behind, but Straub is very local. I'm pretty sure they don't put much preservatives in their stuff, so it doesn't get shipped around. But there are a couple of beer distributors around in the western Pennsylvania area that actually have it. But they distribute like it was Yingling. Like you can only get it in like 24 packs.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. Is it like an amber style, or a little more like a lager, or is it like?
So they have three different kinds now. They started with a lager, and that's their green can, their green bottle. So if you ever hear anyone ask for a Straub green bottle, that's the lager. I like the amber, which is just kind of your darker, slightly darker beer. It's a bit. I don't know how I put it. It's a bit lighter than. It's just a little bit lighter than a New Belgium Fat Tire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. That sounds delicious. Delicious.
So, well, before we get further into this, let's just forewarn our
dear
listeners. Yes. This is just a first, welcome to Those Catholic Gamers, a podcast where Catholic guys come together to talk about video games and their Catholic faith. I'm James, your host, and today I have with me Connor.
Yo.
Yeah, good lip syncing there with me there.
I know. I mean, we're getting to the point now where we got it down pat.
Yeah, I don't even have to read from a script now.
That's good. So you know you made it big in the podcast game.
Oh, perfect. There you go. And well, today, this podcast is usually about video games and us talking about them. Kind of taking the tea from like Star Quest Production Network, Jimmy Akin's Mysterious World, and other like the Secrets of Star Trek, Secrets of Stargate, all that good stuff. Where they just kind of talk about talk about those things from a Catholic eye lens, and we do that with video games. But today we're doing something different. I have recently moved across the country away from Connor, so this is just an opportunity for us to kind of just chat and hang out. And you, listener, are more welcome just to kind of listen in and participate. You can always contact us at catholicgamerspod@gmail.com. Just shoot us an email. You can always leave us a lovely comment, or like, comment, subscribe. We're trying to grow this audience, so feel free to let others out there know that we exist and them to listen in. I personally like our number one episode for people to start with. Just go with who are these weirdos, and then you could then jump into here and get a further understanding of where we're at. So
Yeah, that's it. Our first episode was a good episode just to do like a who is this guy? What's going on? Why is this Connor guy so weird? Why is this James guy such an old soul?
Yeah, I really am, and I don't know why.
Just very eclectic in nature.
That I am. So,
but yeah, no, I think we kind of talked a little bit beforehand, and I know we talk about video games most of the time, which is fun, and we do really love video games. I would say, would you consider like video games your top hobby?
Right now, it comes and goes. So there are definitely times where I'm pretty sure there's been like, I don't know, times where I haven't played a game in like 8 months, almost even 12 months. But as of right now, it's a good go back to where like there's so much upheaval, and I just need something that's a solid foundation that I know I'm going to be able to go back and sit down and enjoy something, and that's where video games fills that spot.
Yeah, it's a good fall back on, just like why not? It's a ton of fun. And I would say it's definitely mine because I do it the most. Me and Joe, you would typically do it every Tuesday. We've been doing that for 5-6 years now. Every Tuesday, just gaming it up and hanging out. But I mean, I have other hobbies, which is kind of fun because, having a 2-year-old at home, which takes up a lot of your time. It's hard to have other hobbies. James could probably attest for that. But we do have other hobbies that we like to do.
Yes, yes, we do. Unfortunately, well, and I've made this comment before. Like, what was it? One of the nice things about video games is they have a low foundation on like a price point, right?
Yeah.
If you really want to if you've never played a video game, you can go down to your local secondhand game shop, and most places have them. Like, what was it? I'm pretty sure like either Greensburg, Pennsylvania, or Latrobe, Pennsylvania has one. Bismarck, North Dakota definitely has one. It's like Game Zone or something like that.
Yeah.
And you can just go and get yourself some old kind of cheaper like Game Boy or something like that, start up a game, and then just even like see what this whole gaming hobby is about. Like that.
You don't even necessarily. If you have a phone, you can just download games onto your phone now.
Yeah, but those, I don't know.
It's not the same. It's not the same by any means.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is easily accessed. What do they say? 50% of people are just casual, just pick up a game on their phone and just play as they go. Like that's 50% of gamers in and of itself. Like it's only like me and you and Joe that are in like, I mean, we're in the top 5% of like hardcore gamers you could consider. Like People who put hundreds and hundreds of, if not thousands of hours into video games. Like, we're in a niche market, is like wild as that sounds.
Yeah, that's true. And I mean, we've been sort of indoctrinated from an early age, as we've stated before, into this hobby. But that's not all of our lives, right? Besides work, besides prayer, and our families, there is a little bit of extra time that we like to spend in learning a new thing, or just enjoying our time with other things that interest us besides those video games. Like I said, I'm not really there right now because moved halfway across the country. I'm in the process of tearing up some old wood floors.
Wooden chip.
We just put together a mobile island / I don't know, very small kind
of
like
a coffee bar kind of thing.
Kind of, but it's like really small. It's smaller than my desk here.
Nice. Yeah, I made something. Is it like an IKEA type furniture, or is that like a little more?
It was like Lowe's.
Sturdier than that. Lowe's, okay.
So it's like cheaper than
similar.
IKEA.
Yeah, similar.
It was about $200.
Did you need an Allen wrench to put everything together?
Basically.
Yeah,
we actually needed a screwdriver too.
What?
I know, fancy.
Other tools? How could they?
Fancy. I know.
How do they expect us to have a screwdriver?
They didn't even include one.
So. They didn't even supply it?
They supplied the Allen wrench, not the screwdriver.
How dare they?
So, yeah.
No, I mean, I have other hobbies. I think one thing as of recent that I've really gotten into, and I actually have it going on right now, James can probably see it.
Yeah,
is I've gotten into 3D printing, and holy crap, is that fun. Like, I just started off, I just bought a 3D printer, and I got like a little stand, like a little 2-box stand, and I just started off just like finding random stuff online and just printing it, and a lot of organizational stuff. But now I got into making my own stuff, and oh man, is that a freaking rabbit hole of just like, it's so nice that if a problem comes up and you're just like, man, I just need something just like that's like this long and like just would fit perfectly, and I would just be like this, but I don't have to like, it's like a very custom niche thing. It's like perfect for that. Like I made like little wire things for my trim and stuff to guide some wires along in it, and like I've made just different random stuff. Right now I bought a Pokemon card, and it's in a PSA graded case.
You actually bought it?
I bought it. It's a PSA 9 first edition Skarmory Neo Genesis. It's like the first Skarmory card.
How much? I'm afraid to ask, but how much?
It was $84.
Oh, okay, that's not bad, because I remember looking on eBay and it was like $150, $200.
Yeah, so if you buy off resellers, they jack up the price. So the company that grades called PSA. They actually have eBay auctions that people are trying to sell from their vault, I guess is what they call it. It's basically just a big warehouse full of the cards. And basically they actually do an auction style, so you can like actually get a deal on it and not just buy it at whatever double markup market price is. Because I was looking at market price for it, it's right around $100 is for the graded 9. And obviously the higher the grade, the highest grade is 10. This is a grade 9. So the like grade 10, that's like a $600. So I didn't quite have that kind of money, but it's an investment, really. But I really liked it. Was one of those cards that I wanted growing up in the worst way, because Skarmory is my favorite Pokemon, which I'm probably the only one in the world that would say that. But I'm making a little stand for it to hang, like to stand up rather than just lying flat on my desk. Yeah. So like I found a plan online, and I'm just like printing something out. Take a half an hour and just boom. Like my buddy had to has had worm issues in his water tank, and he was like, hey, can you 3D print me a water or a worm catcher so I could put it? I was like, yeah, sure. So I printed off, took like maybe 30 minutes or maybe 15 minutes, and wham bam, pumped it out. PETG, and it's like totally salt waterproof and everything. You just gotta throw something in there. But it's just like random stuff like that, where it's just like, yeah, you could buy it online for $10, or you could spend 50 cents in filament and just print it yourself. So it's like I like to say it as it's economical, because instead of me spending a bunch of money on stuff that's like you could get online for whatever, like I'm technically saving money. So like me
eventually all the money that you spent in to actually get the thing will save you money. Yeah.
Right. In the long run, and like I've printed card shufflers, and I've got so much stuff around the house right now that I've 3D printed that I'm just like, yeah, I'm glad. I got a cup holder on my desk. Made that myself, which is awesome.
Nice.
So I got into that.
So go back. Your friend was having worm problems in his what?
His fish tank.
Oh, okay. I heard tank and I was hearing water and I was like, worm problems in the water tank?
Fish tank.
Okay.
He's got a saltwater tank that's got worms all in it, I guess. And they shed, I guess. Or I don't know. I don't know exactly, but it's like makes the water really dirty. So like you make it, it's kind of like a fly trap where worms can go in one way, but then they get trapped and can't get out.
Yeah. Catherine was actually looking at something like that. What was it? My wife and I are kind of into the prepper slash sustainability. And she found something where, what was it? There is a blueprint on to make your own, essentially like self-harvesting bird feed. So birds are for chicken. And so chickens will naturally eat like grass and things.
They'll eat, but they need little bugs and stuff too.
But they need protein. And so there's this whole like get up on, what was it? You fill this tank with like coffee grounds, and then from there you throw in like your disposables, stuff that would go into the trash. It's supposed to attract like a certain kind of fly. The fly comes in, lays its lays its eggs. The larvae eat at the food, and then once they are like ready to incubate and turn into more flies, they start searching for soil, and they're going to like self-sort essentially, because they'll climb up this kind of sloped hill, and then at the very top of it you have this little bin, and so they just kind of fall into the bin, and then you can just pick it up and throw the worms to the chickens. So
and they just gobble them up. Probably.
Oh yeah,
probably freaking destroy them. Do you guys have
Absolutely.
chickens yet?
Not yet. I mean, we actually have snow on the ground. We've had snow on the ground for
It's supposed to be days. 50 tomorrow here.
It's supposed to be 50 tomorrow on Monday here.
Okay.
So yeah, we're always like 3 or 4 days behind you guys.
Takes a little while to move over.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do 3D printing. I recommend to anyone, 3D printing is cheap it is right now. Like you can buy a 3D printer, a good one, for like $200. It's not the biggest printer in the world, but they're really good, solid printed from the company. So if you ever thought about getting 3D printing, I highly, highly recommend it. It's a rabbit hole, but that's another one of my hobbies that I really like to do, and I could talk more about it. But I guess my other hobby that I kind of got into, haven't really done much. Well, I did a little bit lately. Is woodworking. I do like woodworking. I've got a table saw. I've got a couple of random stuff. I've got a joiner and a planer, so I can make like turn raw wood into like furniture grade wood.
Mm-hmm.
And like a dust collector and like random like clamps and stuff. So that's been another fun thing that I've learned. I pretty much have almost everything I need. I just need a bandsaw is really what I need to finish it off. But the only problem with that right now is I don't have like a dedicated space. I just do it in my garage. Everything's on wheels. So like I have to pull my car out and pull everything out, and then when I'm done, I have to put everything away. Where it'd be nice having like my own shop where I don't have to put anything away. It just like sits out. But I've done a couple random stuff. I did a bookshelf for my son and dresser for him and some random trees for my mom and sister and cousins, and just a lot of odds and ends stuff with that. I do like woodworking, but I don't have much time to do that anymore.
Yeah, that happens. So, but
I guess those are 2 other hobbies I have. I'm trying to think of anything else. I go through ADHD spurts and find random things that I like on YouTube and just dive deep into those. So I'm kind of one of those guys that's got random knowledge of just about anything, just enough to be dangerous. And yeah, I always find new random stuff to dive deep into.
yeah, fair enough.
What about you, James? Tell the listeners your Warhammer 40K obsession.
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 So yeah, what was it? I mean, Warhammer is actually getting a lot of attention in the video gaming space as it stands right now. But most people probably are unaware that it actually was a tabletop collection / army battling game, and still is. They actually have like tournaments across the country throughout the year. Yeah, and it's just kind of you pick a army out of like 12 that you want to start collecting from, and you buy these super expensive pieces of plastic, and you glue them together, and then you paint them, or you prime them, and then you paint them, and you collect, and you collect, and you collect, and then eventually you will have a number of points, because each group has an amount of points set out by the rules, and you find other people who do this, and you have tactical
battle.
Yeah, and there's different rules and stuff.
What if I just throw a hand grenade onto something and call it a nuke? What does that sound like? Does that sound like it'd be part of the game?
Probably not. But I mean,
you'd win the game for sure.
Maybe.
You might not survive.
Maybe. I mean, lore wise, I mean, it's it would make sense. Like they've got all sorts of horrendously scary weapons and things like that. Like one of them is a gravity gun, basically, where they can pinpoint a point of gravity like inside your body, and then increase the gravitational pull, and then the gravity will just rip the person apart. That's the lore thing.
It almost kind of sounds like a black hole, almost.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a singularity
black hole gun.
Yeah. No, they have all sorts of like incredibly stupid, scary, but it's all very tongue in cheek, and they have a sci-fi and a fantasy version of that. So that's pretty big. I'm right now just in the collecting and painting portion of it. I just kind of want to build up my army of Ultramarines because I'm a pleb when it comes to the game.
You work your way up. Your way up.
So I like the color scheme. I think I might go with Adeptus Mechanicus next because they've got some pretty cool looking guys. Or maybe some, oh gosh, what are they called? Necrons, which are like space robot zombies from 10 million years ago that are waking back up or something like that.
Oh.
They got this like ancient Egyptian, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's a collectible, right? So like, here's the thing with collectibles, right? Is you work your way up. Like I got my first like PSA grading card, and like I was watching this YouTuber, and he wants to collect every single Gengar card that's been ever made. And he made a big, huge thing about it. And like, he has like a big framed thing of all these Gengar cards. And I'm like, that would be a fun idea. But you start with one thing, right? You start small. Like that's how you get into hobbies. You can't expect you to be the dude in the basement with a giant, massive train set. Like he's like 60 years old and he's got freaking thousands of trains. Like he started when he was little and with his first train, right? Like
that's very true. Or what was it? That one guy who's like keeping that D&D campaign going for like 40 years or something like that.
Yeah, I think we watched a video on that. He had one singular campaign. It's been going for 40 years, and he's got like all these massive like table sets and table dioramas, and like he has like different like figurines and like massive dragons and all this random like D&D stuff. Like he made like literally if he's not doing the DM, he's literally painting or figurines and like doing random stuff with
building
that.
sets or
building sets, yeah.
And I think that's it. That's a nice little story to, it's like it's a hobby. It's not a way of life. You like if you begin to obsess, like it's time to take a step back and take a breath.
Exactly. No, I agree.
So, yeah, but so yeah, we're starting on the Warhammer stuff. I've always been a collector. I'm still looking for some of my state quarters. So still working on that.
Are you doing? You're a quarter collector too?
Yeah, I'm a quarter collector. I'm a coin collector. It goes with the family. Most of us are.
Yeah.
So
I think I remember doing that when I was little. I tried to do all the quarters and I just kind of gave up on it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I actually have all of them, but I'm also doing the different mints. So there's the Pittsburgh mint and the Denver mint. So the P's and the D's. So I'm trying to get both.
All about those P's and D's.
Yeah. And then let's see here. So, but yeah, no, what was it? Collecting. I also, ever since I was basically 18, I had my own free money. I collected books, like either really nice books or books that are, yeah, either really nice books or books I'd like to read, and that got me into just the hobby of reading, which kind of got me back into school, really.
Yeah.
And then I've always loved to work with my hands, so I enjoy auto repair. One of my like bucket list hobbies is to repair from the chassis up a 1968 Ford Mustang.
1968? My dad has a 1969.
Yeah, but the body's a little different. They changed it.
It is.
Yeah.
You're not. It is a little different.
So, yeah, I like that classic look.
You like the 68. There's not that. I mean, 68, 69, there's a little bit of difference.
Yeah, it's how the body is built a little bit.
Yeah.
So, but it wouldn't be a full like redo. It would be, like mostly clean it up and repair, but also putting in a couple of modern day conveniences.
Do you like a resto mod?
A little bit. More resto than mod.
Yeah.
And then with that comes like gardening and things of that nature. My wife and I are really into that. And Catherine more so, but once we'll be gardening a lot this coming year, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys will actually have land to actually plant a garden.
Yep.
And you'll have a longer growing season,
That too. Yeah, because what was it? We'll probably start putting plants in the ground in early April.
So I know you can't see this, listener, but I'm showing James the little stand that I literally just printed 30 minutes ago.
It's like it's got a little... I'm like 30, 20. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's got a little Pokemon symbol on it.
Yeah, it's got stats and like, if you know how to play the card game, that's what that's all about. But it like fits perfectly. So now I can just hang this up on my desk and just put next to Mama Mary. No, I'm not gonna do that. Because I already 3D printed a little Skarmory. So I got to paint that and do stuff with that. It's not the best print, but
so
anyway, sorry, you can keep going. But yeah, we have a little standing planter in our backyard, and Abby every single year since we've lived in our house for about 3 years now, she's like, "Oh, I want to build a garden." Finally, last year she's like, "Yeah, you can just rip it up." Like, okay. Because it's like the wood's starting to fall apart. It's not like treated wood because you can't put treated wood in a standing garden.
No, you can't.
So it's like starting to rot quite a bit. And there was a sandbox that I pulled out this past summer, and I used some of the sand and stuff. But yeah, I ripped out the sand because the sandbox was super rotten. But it mostly just turns into weeds halfway through the summer.
Yeah, I can attest.
But I mean, the hardest thing is like, right? So I'm not a green thumb. I don't claim to be. I don't really care for gardening. So like, I just told her like, hey, if you want to do gardening, it's up to you. You got to get out there, and you got to be out there every single day pulling weeds and
Mm-hmm.
getting things all set up. And she's just more of a reader. She'd just rather just sit at her chair and read.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. So, what was it? Connor, are you aware of the website artofmanliness.com?
Yeah.
So he actually has a full breakdown of like 75 plus hobbies and like different things in here. So like number one, reading, right? Number
that
two
is the reading for dear listener. If you guys are single, reading is considered the sexiest activity a man can do by women.
Really?
Yep.
What's your source?
Random chart I saw online.
There you go. A true millennial going by what the internet told him.
Right? That's exactly it. What'd you say? It was 50 hobbies?
It's like 75. If you just go to artofmanliness.com in the search bar, type in hobbies, 75 plus ideas.
Got it.
So, what was
reading?
it? Yeah. Ham radio.
Oh, interesting.
Have you heard of ham radio?
I have heard of ham radios.
Okay. I have been very, ever since I was like 12, very interested in getting involved with this. This is one of those things where there's such a high price point.
Yeah.
I mean, podcasts have basically become kind of ham radio.
Right. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like,
but you know,
it's just like the ease of access to like having you can literally just download an app on your phone and just download a podcast thing and listen to people talk.
Yep.
That's what gets me kind of confused why ham radio is a hobby. Like, so like, is a hobby putting together the ham radios, or is it the communication between the ham radios?
I think it's both.
Okay.
Right. It's learning how the equipment works, and then on top of it, like the actual communication, right? So for the longest time, to actually be a ham radio operator, you would have to pass certain tests. I think there's like 3 different ones, and you have to actually show your skill at Morse code and things of that nature. So I remember like being 12, 13, 14, 15 years old and like really getting into and looking into this and being like, man, this is something I really, really want to do. And I just never, I mean, you kind of know my family history and background, my growing up.
And, I mean, you guys have freaking had any hobby under the sun pretty much.
No, it more of like, I never had time.
Yeah. You had too many hobbies. That's the biggest problem too I have is I have too many hobbies sometimes.
Yeah, I would say I didn't have. I would say the only hobby I had was video gaming growing up. Yeah. But part of that was issues going on at home. So
no, I get that. I mean, I've also dabbled in Legos. You can, if you ever tune in the stream, you can see my Lego sets that are just hanging on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
But
so
anyway, but yeah, I like this list. I think we should keep going with this list.
Okay, sounds good. So playing the guitar, I'm gonna throw that out and just say playing an instrument. Connor, do you know how to play an instrument?
I in high school and junior high played the trombone. Mm-hmm. As soon as I graduated, I quit playing because I mean, trombone works well if you're in a band, if you're in like orchestra or like a big group of people, but you can't really like play that for fun.
Yeah, it's not a saxophone. You know?
No, it's not a sax. It's not a guitar. It's not like a sexy instrument, you know, where you can just pull it out and be like, hello, look at me play my trombone. It's like, okay, well, let me pull this out and squeal it because it's a bass clef, so like it doesn't sound good. But I do think there's a game tie-in. Have you seen Trombone Hero?
No.
Oh, you've never seen Trombone Hero?
No.
Oh, it's like Guitar Hero but with trombones. It's the funniest thing in the world because you're like have all these songs that you're playing on the trombone, and like it's really hard to play. I guess it's a really tough game, but it's really funny listening to like you play trombone at these random songs. But I know how to play kazoo. I'm a kazooer, but that doesn't take much to play. But I would say, yeah, no, I'm not. I've never really been a artiste or musician or anything like that. And like when I look at this thing, and no offense to the people who play guitar, but I feel like that's such a cliche thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, unless you're really good at it.
Oh,
My buddy,
100%.
I remember growing up, my buddy Joe, he was I remember he was listening to Avenged Sevenfold. And oh gosh, what was it? It was like something, oh gosh. Yeah, it was just like one of the solos. And he was just sitting there listening to it. And he's like, James, check this out. And he just picks up his guitar, tunes it to the right thing, and then just starts playing. He's like, yeah,
shredding.
Yeah, he could just listen and play. It was just he had there's this immense talent. And you know, there are people out there. But it just seems like everyone plays the guitar. And
one of my buddies, a old coworker, he the Medora musical, he used to play for that for like 7 years. He's a really good guitarist, and we went and listened to him play a couple times.
Fair enough.
But so. Like he performs, so like he can literally do anything with guitar.
Yeah.
Fair and enough. Then I also knew a guy who was in a Latin Scola with me when I was living in Wisconsin, and he was a classically trained guitarist and very like snooty two shoes type guitarist, which he would grow out his like index finger and thumb fingernails like really super long so that he could like pluck with his fingernails.
Yep. And yeah, that's what my buddy was doing. That's what Joe was doing too. He was getting into like Spanish guitar, and then it just got creepy. And then so he got like the like men's fake fingernails for that.
Oh, interesting.
And so he could do that instead of like trying to grow out his own. It's just
yeah.
So, but
yeah, this guy was dedicated. He was like, I all for like drinking the red Kool-Aid on it. My biggest joke with him, and at first he didn't get it, and I would just be like, hey, I heard this like really tough song out there right now, and I don't know if you could play it, but like, you ever heard of Wonderwall? And the first time I told him, he looked at me with the biggest strange look on his face, like, yeah, it's like the easiest song ever. It's like 4 chords. I'm like, no, man, it's tough. It's really, really hard. You should try it sometime. He goes, okay, yeah, I'll do that. And every single time I saw him, hey, you ever hear Wonderwall? And it progressively got to the point where he was just like, yeah, man, I don't know if I could do that. So like this guy literally had his master's in classical guitar. Like he was really good.
That's fantastic. So
yeah, we'll move on to the next one.
Well, what was it? It's like I actually do play an instrument.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
That's fine. But no, I grew up playing the violin and viola, and then when we moved, we were gifted a piano. So hey. I picked up a teach yourself piano from the local library, and
there you go. Nothing better than a DIY piano book.
Absolutely. Well, what's really nice is having musical theory and just kind of a basis of like how to read notes and knowing where middle C is and the progression and chords and stuff like that from violin, viola, and then choir in college. It's actually it's not as intimidating as I first thought it was going to be. So it's still hard. Like you need to get your fingers in the right place, and you have to move, correctly. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm still
You don't
trying to
want to
do that,
get carpal tunnel and all that.
that too. But just like placing your fingers in the right spot so they're not hitting two keys at the same time.
Oh yeah, I had a couple. I had a roommate in college. He was a tuba, but he also had to take music theory and all that, and he would
Mm-hmm.
play guitar in our room. And I'd be like, "Oh, what's the big deal?" And he's like, "Well, no, it's like you literally have to sit up straight, and you have to make sure your hands are in their correct position,
Mm-hmm.
because otherwise you like build up bad habits. So that, and you
Yep.
have to be able to have flexibility." So he was always doing like finger exercises to practice his mobility with his fingers.
Yep. Precisely. So
Dexterity.
yeah, no, it's a whole thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's my music history there. So
Nice.
cool. Well, Connor, any background in ballroom dancing?
Yes, actually, I do. Um, One of those things I picked up when I was a missionary, actually, because
Oh, sure, sure.
a couple of my guys in my Bible study were in the swing dance club
Mm-hmm.
on campus. So I was like, you know what, might as well just join and stuff, which was fun during a dating fast because there were all these girls that were all like, oh, hi. And I was just like, no, can't talk to you. And then as soon as I got off my second year, I quit going. Which is fun. But anyway, I did have a decent amount of ballroom dancing. I really like the waltz. That was probably one of my favorite ballroom dancing styles. It's super fun. Like the biggest thing that with ballroom dancing is you can't, and dancing in general, is you can't take yourself too serious. Too many guys I know take themselves too seriously, and
Mm-hmm.
you got to
Mm-hmm.
put. And it's one of those hobbies where you got to put in the time to do it. And if you don't practice it, you will lose it. Like I cannot ballroom dance really much anymore because I haven't done it in a while. I know a
Sure.
couple moves, but a lot of the fancier moves I don't remember anymore. And also Abby is not a very good partner to dance with because
Yeah,
like
yeah. My wife is the same way.
she's too uptight and she watches Dancing with the Stars, so she's got like all this
Oh,
mentality of it. So
sure.
she watches it, but she has no idea how what it actually takes to actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
um which any good ballroom dancing is like the man has to lead and the woman has to follow, and
Yes.
Abby doesn't know how to follow. She just like I
Mm,
said, she thinks she's gonna lead and do all that. It's like, no, if you is that's the biggest way to derail a ballroom dance couple or two people is like the women wants to lead, and it's just like if you want to lead. I would say feminism has destroyed ballroom dancing because it's just like it doesn't allow women to follow and doesn't allow men to lead. And it allows, especially with a man, like it allows a really good self confidence and like allows yourself to really get creative and um yeah, prove yourself to be a man and learn how to ballroom dance. So I do have some good ballroom dance in the past. I do really like it, but there's like I said, there's not a ton of ballroom dancing you can do in Bismarck, North Dakota. It's more of a coastal thing for sure.
yeah. Yeah. Or I mean, you can always, if you're really interested, you can definitely find a local studio that's going to host like a certain
Yeah.
event, but it's usually like once a month, and it's usually with people who are like 60 years old because
Yeah.
they're done with everything else and they want to try this, or they have been doing it for such a long time, and
They've been doing it for 40 years and they just
40,
they're
60,
it's
70 years. Yeah.
and it's intimidating when you see someone who's really, really good at dancing and swing dancing and ballroom dancing. Like it's intimidating watching them do it, and you're like, "Oh man,
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I would say it's a great hobby to get into, and especially if you're single, great way to meet
Yeah.
chicks. Because usually there's
It
no
is.
dudes at
It
usually
is.
there's
Yeah.
no dudes at ballroom dance clubs. So it's a great way to meet women.
Fair enough. So.
Next on the list is parkour, and I
Oh.
have no no experience in that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I remember when it got big,
yeah, I do
and
too.
that was like middle school, high school, which is actually that was I was in middle school. I started going to a ballroom dancing group for homeschoolers, and I have a really good memory of we were at a birthday party once, and I tangoed with Grace into a pool, and we did it on purpose.
Nice.
And it was fantastic.
That's fun.
It was a lot of
That's
fun.
super fun.
It was a good memory. It was like, okay, we're all headed inside.
She's engaged or married now?
No.
No?
Katie,
still single as a Pringle? Katie is.
Katie is married. And
Yeah.
Rachel, she is now a Carmelite nun. I think like in Pennsylvania somewhere. But
yeah, I think I knew that.
Yeah, I think she's one of those. Yeah. And then but yeah, no, parkour, I remember, my buddy Joe and Austin, they were really like they were trying to they're like, we should climb up the cathedral.
And you're like, no.
No.
Good way to get arrested.
I like being on the ground. So but yeah, no, I remember it being big and watching people going, wow, that's really impressive. I have a little bit of interest, but really understand that I have no ability to do that.
Yeah.
And I hate heights. So
you gotta be kind of nutso in the head to do parkour.
Yeah. So next one. Next one's yours.
We already talked about woodworking.
We talked about gardening.
Kayaking and canoeing. Have you ever done some kayaking, canoeing, or anything like that?
I did when I was a Boy Scout. And
nice.
Yeah, I used to be a Boy Scout. Didn't get very far because
Were you a Weebelo?
No, actually. I was a Cub Scout. And before Weeblos, and then
Bear Scout?
Yeah, I think it was bear. It's like Cub, Wolf, Bear, or something like that.
Yeah. Or at least it used to be. I don't know if it's like that anymore.
Yeah, I have no idea. Join the St. George,
St. George, the Troops of St. George.
Troops of St. George. It's a better option nowadays.
Way better group. They didn't abandon their morals.
Yeah. And so
I gotta change up my you can keep talking.
Okay. So yeah, I was a Cub Scout in Vancouver, and then I got in trouble in the 4th grade, and so my dad pulled me out, and I didn't get back into Boy Scouts until freshman year. Yeah, it was like freshman year of high school, and I was so taken aback by the Boy Scouts at that time that what was it? My dad was like, well, we only have enough money to either have you go to Boy Scouts or you can join the Youth Symphony Orchestra for like Sioux Falls or South Dakota or something like that. And I was like, let's do that. I'm going to do that. And so that's what I did. But I did go on one excursion with the Boy Scouts, and we did a canoeing event down. I don't even remember what the river was. It was like on the border of South Dakota and Nebraska, and we did a couple of miles. And
at the lake, Lewis and Clark Lake. Is that by that area?
No, it was like on a proper river. Like we had to disembark. No, I honestly can't remember what the name of the place was, but yeah, we went down there and we canoed, and I just remember being out there hanging out with those guys, and that was a lot of fun, staying in the tents. And then it was like, okay, we're gonna make dinner, and I was like, yes, we're gonna cook over an open fire, and it's gonna be fantastic. And they pulled out the gas grills, and I basically in my heart was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
like
yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I was like, no.
But I mean, you work your way up to doing like crazy stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, I guess. So, but
I mean, there's a reason why we have modern inventions.
That's true. So, yeah.
And I mean, we shouldn't talk about smack too much because Joe was a legit Boy Scout.
Yeah, no, and that's good and all, but it wasn't my thing. So
yeah. No, but getting into the canoeing and kayaking, I've actually done a fair bit of canoeing. We did a discernment retreat for religious or for priesthood up to Boundary Waters, Minnesota. which is very like northern Minnesota, and you can only do canoes or kayaks up there. And so we did like a 4-day trip up there one time. We did a couple of those, and it was super fun. And actually, me, Joe, my buddy Kyle, actually did the three of us did a trip to Boundary Waters a couple years ago, and that was a ton of fun. So I've done quite a bit of canoeing and camping and stuff. I think it's super fun. Canoeing, oh, it's super great. And like it would be super fun when my son gets older to take him out and go canoeing and kayaking and stuff, just because it's just a good exercise just to get out and about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's fun being on the water, breathing in the fresh air.
Mm-hmm.
So I know my mother-in-law was wanting to do a kayaking or canoeing trip on the I think it's on the Allegheny River. Like,
okay,
go up to Katanning and then
yeah, you got to go upriver and then go like
and then
go
we would
down the
go
river.
down, and then someone would catch us like near Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
But Catherine will be 8 months pregnant.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe it might be like a Benedict and I kind of thing to go do. So,
which fun news we're expecting.
Congrats.
Thanks.
What's the due date?
Gus's birthday.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Which is July, was it 24th? I think is his birthday.
I was gonna say our due date's July 26th.
July 28th. No. Wait, what? How is yours in July?
We just found out.
How far along are you guys?
Like 6 weeks.
Oh, we're 6 weeks.
Yeah.
What? Get the frick out of here. No way.
Yeah.
I thought you guys are farther along than that.
No.
Wow. That's hilarious.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's funny. That's so funny. Great. Yeah, that's hilarious. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
Cool.
Good. That's funny. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Find that out on the pod.
Yeah. So, listener, if there's all of a sudden like a gap of episodes in late July, August,
that's why.
You know why? Yeah.
Both having to. Well, would you have to build up a bunch of episodes by then?
Yeah. So. All right. Well, I think we can skip through some of these. Lock picking.
Yeah.
I have no experience. I'd like to learn.
It would be fun.
Yeah. Classic car restoration. I've kind of mentioned that before.
Mm-hmm.
Barbecuing.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I mean, barbecuing is such a broad thing that you could do. You could like a smoker and do things like that, or you could like just get a grill and do some different things along those lines. So like, I feel like barbecuing is such a wide. It's not a very like good way to describe it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, as with all hobbies, you can definitely get down into like niche kind of stuff, like you have woodworking, metalworking, right, and then there's all sorts of metal stuff.
Yeah, leatherworking.
Yeah. Marksmanship. This is something I'm really looking forward to getting into. Is marksmanship. It is expensive, but I always have enjoyed going out and shooting guns, and I'm actually rather proficient.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty decent with a pistol. I'm pretty decent with my 9mm, and my it has an AR-15 that I've shot a couple times and dialed in, which is fun.
Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, and then next one right on the list is like collecting, right? So, all sorts of things you can collect. So just kind of,
if something exists, you can collect it.
Like it literally states, pick your poison.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So, singing, choir, always a good thing. And then once again, there's lots of different kinds of singing that you can get involved with. Camping and backpacking. I know you enjoy backpacking and camping. At least camping.
I do like camping. Yeah, backpacking is so hard. It's exhausting carrying a bunch of stuff on your back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That is something I am looking forward to. I'm kind of hoping Benedict
you're
is.
like prime time area to do that.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then also, like, I'm kind of at the point where I never really got the, oh, I never got the signal from my dad where it was just like, you pick your thing and then I'll follow and I'll invest in that with you. But I want to make that very clear with Benedict when he's a little older, where it's like, what do you want to learn? What do you want to do? I want to invest in that with you.
Yeah, I think because that was something my dad never did to me. I would love to do with Gus as well, just because I had my hobbies and my dad was like, "Oh no, that's dumb. I don't want to work on my cars. You're gonna come work on my cars with me," and I'm like, "No, I don't want to do that."
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good. I think it's good. I want to do that with Gus too.
Yeah, but ship in a bottle. That's kind of a. I don't know. I every time I see
you know
this,
how they do that? They literally build a ship and then morph the bottle around it.
Yeah,
that's how they do it.
Yep, and then they, or they put the pieces in, and then you have like special tools to help, like bring up the rigging and stuff like that.
Assemble it and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a special kind of model making.
It's a special kind of insanity. I'll tell you that much.
So, chandlery or candle making.
I think that would be fun for like to do it for parishes, because like there's a lot of places that will make it like because you have to have, was it 51% at least beeswax for church candles?
I think that's canon, or it.
Canon law says 51. At least it has to be more than a half beeswax.
Yeah. Yeah, it can't just be like oil lamps that are shaped in like a candle.
Yep. Which you see all over in a lot of Eastern Orthodox churches, a lot of oil lamps.
Okay. So my grandmother-in-law, I guess is the term, she's very big into candle making. That's how they've been making a living, is candle making from the bees that they raise. Nice. And then what was it? Her grandfather is into reupholstering old furniture and doing stuff with wood. So he makes like bowls and stuff like that. And so, but yeah, just kind of a cool thing, a cool family.
I mean, we don't have to go through this whole list. You know that, right?
Yeah. So,
but yeah, I think it would be fun to like make candles for parishes. I think that would be something that would be super fun and noble to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. All you need to do is like find a good source of beeswax and
which I guess North Dakota is one of the highest honey producers in the nation. So
I believe it's number 1. Yeah.
Yeah, it's number 1.
So
there gotta be a lot of bees around here somewhere. I don't see them, but I guess they're around.
Yeah. But no, I just remember going through this list and being like, either I've tried most of these things or have been like, I would really be interested to like try this.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's a great list.
Yeah, it really is.
Home projects is down here. Analog games or board games is on here. So I don't know if volunteering as a hobby is actually good for the soul.
Why wouldn't it be?
Oh, it's like I wouldn't consider volunteering as a hobby. I would consider it like, if you're considering, it's like, what do you do for a hobby? It's like, oh, I volunteer. It's like, okay, that's like, I don't know. Hobby is for something where you have extra pastime and you just kind of want to like kill some time. Yeah. Volunteering for me seems more of like, I'm going to invest my extra time work of mercy into a person, right? Yeah, it's the mindset, right? Yeah. So, but 100%. Anyway, so
there's so many hobbies that you can do, and I think it's good for us to recognize like the importance of video games as a hobby. You know, I guarantee it's not on this list. But computer programming is on the list. Okay. But
that's huge. Like if you really want to get into it, like just go. What was it? GitHub.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can just download some code and start fiddling and try to like change a
Make it your own.
program. Yeah. No, it's absolutely.
But we're multifaceted individuals for you,
Very
dear
much.
listener.
Yeah, very much so.
And I think it's good to do that.
Yeah.
And I think it's really good to do with people that you know. Just like video games and like our faith, like you can't be on an island with this kind of stuff because then you just can lose yourself in it. So it's very important to find your group and your community within all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And to bring Catholicism into everything.
Yeah. That's kind of my issue right now is like we've been out here for only like a month and I really don't know anyone.
Yeah, I mean, it takes before you move somewhere. It takes on average about 2 years before you start meeting people.
So, I mean, we've started meeting people. It's just like,
I don't compare to your good old buddy Connor.
Yeah.
I kid.
But yeah, no, I'm just
you'll meet
out
someone
here trying to.
You'll find people.
Well, I've already met like one of the philosophy professors out here, and I would love to hang out with him. It's just like
he's probably busy.
Well, I'm working on Saturdays, and the only time that the kind of the homeschooling group that we fell into, they're doing stuff on Saturdays, and we only have one car right now. But now with another baby on the way, we're definitely going to need to get another car, and all the stuff. So
yeah.
So
make it work. Get a big old jalopy and make it work.
Yeah, I've been actually looking at some like, what was it? I'm fond of those Dodge like Town and Country. Or
I mean, minivans have come a long way from when they were like when we were little. Like minivans actually do really well at moving people. And I think that's what you have to have the mindset of getting a minivan. You don't get a minivan for looks or luxuries or anything.
No.
You get a minivan to have utility and to move people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's pretty much all you use it for.
Yeah. But what was it? It's a sign of a true dad where it's like you can make driving a minivan look sexy.
James, I make everything I drive look sexy. You think my tractor's sexy?
Look at this.
She thinks my tractor sexy. Really turns her on.
Oh boy. There's the copyright strike right there.
Not if I sing it.
What if I sing it? No. Will I hum it?
Maybe.
Okay. Alrighty. So
on that note.
Yeah, we better get going. We've been doing this for about an hour now, so yeah. Connor, where can they find you?
You can find me on twitch.tv/Fatal Condor. We stream on Tuesdays at 7:30 Central Time. So if you ever want to come and hang out with us, just shoot the breeze and have fun with us. We're always on during that time. And if we're not, then it's usually sometimes we're just not feeling it or we got something going on with family. It happens. But I'm usually trying to be as consistent as possible on the Tuesdays.
Yeah.
So you can catch us on there.
Yeah. Oh, and sorry for everybody who wanted to try to listen to a podcast a couple of weeks ago. It's just I ran out of time.
Got busy.
Got busy. So I better it's just new job and new place and Yes, what was it? 60 hours working and it was crazy. So
it gets to be a lot.
Sorry about that. I'll try to figure out a better way to communicate with you guys if we are going to have a bit of a lull, but hopefully as of right now we're still going strong. But anything else, Connor?
No, got no signs of quitting anytime soon. We're having a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. So with all that being said, thank you all for listening. God bless.
Bye. Have a good time.